Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 37 of Rapid Unscheduled Discussion. I don't know what to do with my hands.
Are
I'm
you
like
doing
I'm like a groom in a wedding shoot. Like, what do I do with my hands? What do I do with my hands?
Are you no, you're like a character on Star Trek, not knowing what to do with their hands because they never had pockets on the.
Oh, that would be the worst. Well,
Yes.
I'm of course Seth, your host, and with me, as always, the other co-host, Daryl Sausse from the great state of Louisiana. Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes and yeah, pretty much always. And joining us back tonight, good friend of the show, contributor for NASASpaceflight.com, everybody's favorite port stalker. It's Julia Bergeron back with us.
Hello.
I would clap louder, but I don't want my mic to pick it up and all it be annoying and loud. But
I don't know. I was trying to figure out how this was classier than the show used to be. So
It's like he's Christopher
listen,
Walken.
classier,
oh, okay.
classier. Just go with it.
You know, if you're doing that, you really need to do a Christopher Walken thing.
I still haven't figured out the intro and the outro of the show yet. We've only been doing it for like almost 10 months now. So
Yeah.
one day we'll figure it out. I'm sure. No, we'll never figure it out. Julia,
There'll be
thanks.
fireworks when it happens. Yeah.
Julia, thanks for showing up. Thanks for sharing your time with us and your dog, of course. I am the one person in the show today that doesn't have a dog with them, and I feel a little lonely.
Yes.
But I do have my flamingos, so. Oh, I saw that laugh. Don't stop.
And for our regular viewers, Beans is around somewhere. I'm trying not to get her too excited because here she comes.
As soon as you said her name,
You
I
said
knew
the name.
I
You
said the name.
So you have Beans and I have Butters.
Oh, Butters.
Is that what her name is? Oh, it's Butters.
That's her name. It's Butters.
I guess I need to get I don't even know what to call it. What do I call my dog? Garlic? Paprika?
Bread.
Not bad.
Butter, beans, and bread.
Oh, bread. Duh. Oh my gosh. Look
Is
at
that Southern, Harold? Because I feel like that might be a Southern thing.
Yeah, see, I'm from the north, so we don't do beans on bread, so.
And I gotta work.
Us too.
So, Julia, we've been away from the Cape for a while, but you, of course, are local. What's happening? How's the launches, or lack thereof, or is there launches?
Well, we had Scrubtober, which started in Scrubtember. We're still in October, and we've had, a couple launches. Starlinks, yeah. Anything that was paid for by a customer is still sitting on the ground.
Oh, that's
so-
true. Wait, GPS
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
launch?
Well, I think you were at both of those
GPS
towns
went.
for GPS 3 and
I've
NRL.
only gone to the NRL 44.
Oh, so you missed the fun of watching a rocket not leave the ground when GPS.
Yeah, I've
Okay.
gotten to see how many times did the Delta not leave the ground? 3 times now?
Yeah, I don't know, but I think whatever construction's at 34 just might be done by the time we get to do this again. So.
I'm really looking forward when Firefly gets to launch, and they might do it before Delta, maybe. I don't know.
No.
But
No. So yeah, we've had. We've had Starlinks is what we've had, and they were both successful. And so GPS 3, that payload went back to Astrotech in Titusville. I imagine they're going to do some recharging of that satellite before it goes back out to be loaded on. We haven't heard when GPS 3 is going to happen yet, and we have a tentative date maybe for way no earlier than for NROL, which is probably end of the month, literally.
I think, it said the 23rd, I think they put the planning date at, and then they pushed it to be like it's indefinite now. So
Yeah, so maybe Halloween. So, we didn't get Crew 1 on Halloween, so maybe we can...
My mom just finally made it back from her trip, so now she's back home. I need her to find the photo of me when I think I was 6 or 7. She made me an astronaut costume for Halloween.
Oh!
Handmade astronaut costume for Halloween. Like,
Really?
oh,
In
she
any
spent
particular
weeks
Or-
making this thing, and it was amazing. Best Halloween costume I've ever had. And I have a photo of me somewhere wearing it. I need it because that's
Yeah,
the
Mom
perfect.
I need to see that.
It's the
Yeah.
perfect like what's the meme that was happening the last week? Like how it started versus how it's going.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
that's-
Yeah, you
the-
need that,
the-
definitely.
Stuck around a little longer. I like that meme.
yeah. I also we had the Pope meme. That one was hilarious. That was. Oh.
Apparently, it didn't work for everybody, did it?
Apparently, some people were not happy about it, but I thought it was hilarious. I love Pope memes. So, Julia, how long have you lived at the Cape?
I moved here in 2016, so like spring of 2016.
So you actually moved to Florida around the same time I moved to Florida, except like I moved in the
Yeah,
fall
so-
of 2016.
Yeah. Our first launch was actually an Atlas, and it was the very day. Well, actually, it was a night launch, so I was spoiled. My very first launch was a night launch, and I had never seen the shuttle go. I never flew down here to watch a rocket launch, so we moved down here to Titusville, and we were treated to an Atlas delivering space station resupply. So that was my first day here, going to Cocoa Beach, getting the keys to my new place, and watching a launch with my daughter. So neither of us had seen one before, and that was a pretty cool experience. And then, we watched a SpaceX launch, and that was the very first time they actually landed on a drone ship. So
Wow.
I actually have been here since SpaceX started landing rockets on drone ships.
Wow. That was the first time on a drone ship. Oh, their first time was on land. That is true. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Which still blows my
And
mind that they would attempt on land, which they've never landed before, and they would still attempt it. To me, that's backwards. They would just keep on landing on a drone ship until they made it. But that's wow. You've been here.
Yeah, but a drone ship's technically sort of more of a moving target. So
Oh,
back in the days of the radio reflective paint on the target and all of that, and now it's just smart enough to land where they tell it to land. So
it's become self-aware, and it just knows how to do it.
something
We
like that.
actually-
Yeah. Mhm.
We actually commented recently. We got some pictures after me, Seth, and Zach Hall took a helicopter flight after one of the NROL attempts, or before it, and we got pictures of the deck. Can't remember which one. Honestly, we were up too high. I couldn't tell which one anyway. And it looked like just electrical tape on the deck. Giant, huge rolls of electrical tape. They're just like, yeah, let's just put that down there, patch it up, looks good.
Oh, I'm guessing you were looking at just read the instructions, because that deck is rough. Oh
That
my
is
gosh.
a really rough deck. That is true.
I would have thought for how long it was out of commission and getting refurbished, we would have seen like some new decking. Ooh, nope, it didn't even come over with new paint. No,
Nope.
I just
It
want to
still
say
hasn't
something.
re-
Matt Cushall likes the hat, so
Oh,
what you get.
of course Matt Cutshall would like the hat.
yeah.
Oh, if only he knew what we were saying about it before the show.
Oh no.
Ah,
Okay.
No.
Nice.
Okay.
No.
Be nice.
Okay. I'll be nice to Seth. As long as he's nice to me, dang it.
So I didn't get to see a launch. I moved here in 2016. I didn't realize that in Orlando you can see launches until Falcon Heavy demo. And I'm like, once I realized that, I'm like, what? I can just, it's just like 30-minute drives. What is this?
Well, you know what amazes me is I didn't realize that you could actually see even in Melbourne. Okay, I was
Yeah.
visiting friends in Melbourne. I could say I don't think I've technically missed a launch, because I've usually either popped outside during it and caught a glimpse at work, or been at a friend's house and popped outside there. So, oh wait, no, that was a static fire I missed. Never mind, that's a different story.
Ooh, not perfect. Not perfect.
Yeah, I was like, you were in Melbourne, and I was so surprised, because not only could I see it, and yeah, it was a dot compared to what we see here, but we heard it. And
You heard it
huge,
in Melbourne?
Huge delay, yeah. But that day, the wind must have been doing the right thing. The cloud, you know how
Yeah.
different acoustics happen with the cloud layers, and
Mm-hmm.
we actually heard it in Melbourne. I was like, what? I mean, it's a low distant rumble, but you know, it was like thunder on the horizon kind of thing. So
That's crazy. Yeah, because you can
so
see
now
it
when
down
people
here.
say, "Well, we'll be in Orlando. Can we see it?" Well, yeah,
Oh,
go
yeah.
to Disney Springs, go up on the top floor of the parking structure, and just look east, and you'll see a rocket launch.
I don't even think about going there. I was on the roof of my college building.
Well, yeah,
We
or the
were-
roof of your roof-ish, because who wants to get locked out on a roof in Orlando? I don't, you know.
Oh
So
yeah. Well, I
I-
was with the president of the campus, so that wouldn't have happened. Look,
yeah.
me and him were like, not gonna brag, but he paid for bowling one night with my friends, so like, I don't know. that was the extent of the relationship, and he didn't even pay for me. It was for another friend. I just got invited. But so when did you start port watching, coming for the boats, watch for them to come back?
So yeah, I didn't realize that when they came back here.
Really?
Well, okay. So when I first moved,
I guess I didn't think about that either. I probably
like okay. So I had heard about SpaceX before I moved here, but I wasn't like the biggest rocket geek ever. I was a space camp kid. I went to space camp when I was 12 in Huntsville, and I wanted to be an astronaut, and that was not too long after Challenger had happened, and that was like that was a defining moment. I'm like, yeah, I still want to be an astronaut. That happened, and I didn't care. I still wanted to do it, and so yeah, I mean, it was there, but I lived in Wisconsin. What was I ever going to do with rockets? So
yeah, same. Like apparently there's now a company in Madison that builds stuff. That's super cool. But other than
NASA
that, there's nothing.
Yeah, I mean, there's contractors in every state because that's how it works with NASA, right?
Oh, yeah.
So if we're doing a program, there's a contractor in every state. But so when I was a senior in high school, I'm like, oh, maybe I'll be like an engineer. So I actually did do electrical engineering for a brief bit. Dabbled in that my senior year. I got into some for smart kids program at the university on the weekends deal. And
Nice.
I was like, wow, this CAD thing is crazy. And that was back in the day where CAD was like the shit.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, ooh, look, I can draw things by, typing things in a computer.
I did,
And
yeah. CAD was fun. I loved doing CAD in high school. That was great fun.
And then I thought I'd be a nuclear engineer because, hey, what better way to pay your way through college than to be, something with the Navy? And then I could be around fighter jets. So how cool is that? Yeah.
That's always fun.
By like 2 math questions, right? And they're like, that's okay, you can retake it. Cool beans. And then I had my physical and they said, nah, you can't do this unless you have surgery because your knee sucks. Okay, well. So that path didn't happen either. And then it was like, I'm just going to go into theater. I'm obviously not in theater now either, but
Right.
I can say I did work in that industry. So,
And it is fun.
it is. And I was never the stage person. I was backstage. So I did the lighting and set and props. I really enjoyed props. But stage manager, that was my gig. So, and that actually translates over into skills I could probably use in the aerospace industry, believe it or not.
I mean, you're always the one who has everything you might need when we go out.
That is right. That is right.
If
like the tweezers in the camera bag the other day. Hello, that really was useful.
If Julia doesn't have it, you don't need it.
Yeah.
Or you can get away with something else.
That is seriously how my purse is and my camera bag. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So life skill right there. So yeah, I wasn't exactly the biggest rocket nerd. I have a confession to make. When we moved here, okay, I'd heard of SpaceX. It was a company we were kind of following when my husband was alive. And I was like, oh, so what's going to happen when we no longer fly the shuttle? Like, well, how are we going to get to the space station? And these commercial companies were talking about being a part of it, and so. I mean, it was cool, and we knew what they were trying to do, and they hadn't landed one yet, but hey, good for them, reusability. I move here, all I want to do is like get closer to a rocket launch. So I do the Google Earth thing, and I'm like, oh, there's like this museum right outside of this Air Force base. That's cool. and they have viewing stands. Ooh, what's this all about?
Back when you can
So
actually
I see the
do
viewing stands, I see the museum, and I'm like, wait a minute, SpaceX like shares this area with them? This is okay, kind of cool. Spent some time at the museum. The docent was amazing, and then I realized, wow, I don't know nothing. But I really wanted to volunteer there because he was such an awesome, like ambassador to the space program, and he had worked in the program. So the realization of, wow, I know Jack happened at the museum. So yeah, of course we went to the moon, and that was the Saturn. But before that, yeah, wow, okay, yeah, our early program was kind of sort of news to me. Not news, because it obviously, but I didn't know terribly much about it. So I became a volunteer so that I could learn more. And then I started becoming a real geek. So yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
we all find obsessions sometime, and we've all started obsessing over this.
Yeah.
When did you actually start like going to the port like all the time and started like learning about all the ship stuff?
Boy, I'd have to look back. It was thanks to Ken Kramer, actually. Ken Kramer and Carlton Bailey were like the two folks I met, so veterans of the media squad here. And it was Ken Kramer who took me out there, and I want to say, it was probably back right about Bulgaria sat. So that
must have been before I started paying attention.
Well, it was a beautiful one. It was like one of those rare sunset ones.
Ooh.
And I had the pink sky. I think that was the time where after that I don't think I ever missed one in port. Because there was a couple times before that it came back, and I only knew because I saw it on the front page of Florida Today, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I can see that? Like and I'd never even been to port, so I had no clue. So we happened to go down and check out Port Canaveral, and we're driving through the cove, and I'm like, oh, there's the rocket we just literally saw like launch the other day. So I do believe I had seen SES-10 was the first SES-10. So yeah, I want to say maybe it was SES-10.
Yeah.
That we saw, or no, CRS-8. I don't know. I haven't exactly narrowed down which was the first, but if I go through screenshots here, maybe I knew I found it on Facebook where I'm like, oh wow, hey, look at this guy.
Oh, don't you love those Facebook like memories things? I get them all the time, and I remember like, oh, yeah, I used to be like 100 pounds lighter back then. That's great.
Oh yeah, and I used to actually do things on there, but not so much anymore. Really.
So SES-10 was March 30th. Speaking of, so Rodrigo, I think I pronounced that right. He says hi. He's from Brazil. He saw SES-10, and he was here for ArabSat. But he has a question. He goes, which I think I might know the answer to. But what was the most emotional launch that you saw?
Oh, wow. Honestly, the most emotional was probably Demo Mission 2. Yes. Because for me, that was the very first time humans were on a rocket that was launching, and I was witnessing that. So it's that defining moment of we're actually going to space again, and we're doing it from home. And I'm very, very proud of what's done out at Cape and the men and women who make that happen. So it was like this moment of wow. And anxiety too, because we're putting humans back on
my
again.
Heart was never like rushing it at any different launch other than that one. I've never had like that much stress, and I wasn't even doing anything.
Well, and it's such a shared moment when you're out there, because I was with NSF at the time already, but due to COVID, there's and there still are restrictions out there for media and how many people that they can host to at each event. So even Crew One's going to have like maybe one per outlet going out there. Mm-hmm. So I was offsite and I was doing the commentary on our live stream from Titusville. on the coast, which is where so many shuttle launches had been watched. And for me, what was really special about that was having seen the pictures of Titusville during Apollo, you know, and the pictures in Time magazine. And here I was standing there for a different moment of history that was about to happen. And I think that's what really made it emotional for me, was being in the crowd, recording it and being a part of that history. So.
That was a big crowd too.
That was such a.
That was a big crowd because, oh man, you know, what do you say when you're in the kind of sort of, you know, the peak of a pandemic that nobody quite knew
what seriously either, and
yeah, or took seriously, and they're like, well, hell or high water, I'm gonna come watch that. And I'm like, you're gonna bring your germs to my town. I live here. Yep. I live here, and I live about just under a mile from the coast right now is where I live. And all I could think of was, man, I mean, I'm so happy so many people want to see this and be a part of this and witness this, but the other part of me was like, can you please stay home and not come here? Because our restaurants needed the boost, right? So of course they were going to be open, even if it was just having a food stand outside. Yep. You know, so for those people, some of these restaurants had been open and closed because their own employees had gotten, you know, infections, and so it was tough, and it was still a huge freaking crowd. And had it not been for COVID, honestly, it probably would have been a disastrously huge crowd too.
Oh, I can't imagine what it'd be without COVID. Like I slept out of my car the night before to make sure I had a spot there. Like, yeah, I can't imagine.
Okay, where are we going to park Seth? I mean, worst case scenario, Seth parks and he walks down with me or whatever. But
yeah.
Luckily, the folks at El Leoncitos are pretty cool, and you know, we got a spot. But
yep, yeah, that was I accidentally parked in 2 spots to make sure you had a spot.
That was sweet of you.
Yeah, it was.
And honestly, I think
he was that.
He's probably like learned from Falcon Heavy and the mistakes of, you know, that you can't just let this go without, you know, having some sort of crowd control going on.
Yep.
Which is how I felt happened with Falcon Heavy. We had fatal accidents during that one. So
yep.
This one was handled much better, and they had officers doing crowd control and just helping people cross the road safely and all that. So
the piggyback off the blast, the DM2, the question about with DM2, what was the moment or the launch or like kind of like the booster return or event that made you kind of go like, I want to share this with people, and like I want to be like the person to like share this information? Like, did you have like a moment like that?
Well, I probably have Chris Bergen of NSF to blame because he probably fueled it. I mean, it was like, what? I started a Twitter account, seriously, y'all, because I thought it would be, well, I wanted to do a NASA social. Okay, so I looked up, like, how do you get closer kind of things and what can you do? So, a NASA social, but, you need a social media account. I have Facebook. Oh, no. This isn't really going to work for me. So I started Twitter, and my angle was to share history, right? Yeah, that fell like a lead brick. It works now because I have a bigger following, but when you're trying to gain a followership, you got to have a thing. And apparently, like, you know, living here and rockets launching, and specifically SpaceX, is like a thing, right? So that was the thing. I had a pocket Elon. I had a pocket Tory. I mean, I was coming up with my thing. Oh,
the
yeah.
cookies?
I have a pocket Elon. Pocket Elon, like that. Apparently, SpaceX fans don't have a sense of humor because pocket Elon was like a ton of bricks and it didn't work. So
I'm not surprised with that.
But you know what? Pocket Tory worked, and Tory worked because of Tory.
Because Tory's awesome.
And because Tory would, you know, he interacts with everybody on social media. So being able to go to a luncheon and bring Tory with and have him on my shoulder and be standing next to Tory was pretty fun, actually. So, so I would say, I mean, I tried to have things that made me unique, and I still didn't get into a NASA social, by the way, until I had basically become media already.
Yeah, we got to go to the ULA social together, and that was pretty much
Yeah, and that
yep.
wasn't an NASA social. That was a ULA one,
Yep.
which bless their hearts. I am so happy because they did such a good job.
They just amazing.
Like I really
job.
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I got invited to Wallops for the Cookies in Space mission, ironically, but I couldn't go because it got moved and I couldn't make it up there again. So
that would have just been amazing because you were the perfect person to go for a cookie mission.
Yeah.
You are
it is a heck of a trip too.
Somehow I still managed to score DoubleTree cookie tin. Thank you, DoubleTree.
Nice.
Apparently my efforts tweeting about it and really supporting that mission, they got me some really good cookies, y'all. Oh my god.
I've heard they're good.
Oh yeah, so we have the launch day cookies, but let me tell you, I'm gonna have to make the DoubleTree cookies someday because I found the pirate recipe. So yeah.
Ooh, I'm looking forward to
it. So my thing ended up being, wow, I want to learn more about this end of reusability, and then the most frustrating hi dog. The most frustrating part of all of that was like trying to figure the heck out when they were going to come back in. Because SpaceX doesn't tell you these things. They're not media events. They're not obligated to tell you when the fleet's going to come back in. So I ended up learning how to track ships, and then that became my thing. Like, oh, everybody wants to know when these are coming back and people want to see it, so let me help enable that. And then from there it grew into a journal and learning what isn't normal looking when they're at sea and why, and I don't know, it just kind of became a thing.
And then you became the master.
And now I'm fleet dummy.
You are the master of fleets, right?
Yeah, something like that. But my work, honestly,
dog.
You know who I was inspired by? I was inspired by Pauline's photos from the West Coast. I was like, wow, who knew that rocket hardware could be so pretty, and who knew ships could be so cool? And so it was really Pauline's work that made me want to go out and not just document that these things were coming back, but to try and make it art too. So, and that's like some of the pictures on my wall.
Yeah, you got a cool wall set up. I haven't gotten the time and
I told you gotta put some art on your wall, dude.
I know. I have some photos that I have, but they're not of mine that I have up on the wall.
There's a fleet one over there. Yeah. See, there's my sister's coming back. We're actually going out. That was actually, I kind of feel bad about that photo now because that mission was their first dual mission together. And then they ended up not even making it out to the landing zone. And the nets caught the wind, and that was the mission they came back gimpy because their arms got ripped off.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
But that was, it is what it is. That was their first mission going out together officially. So, yeah.
It's a special mission. Yeah.
It is. And then, of course, streak shots, because those make beautiful art.
Those are beautiful. I always love streak shots. That's STP2. Right?
Yes, that one's STP2. Oh wait, you can't.
Was
really
that the
see
one
it
where you did it?
That
No.
one.
What was the mission where you did it with Starship in the foreground?
I get a little closer. It's one of my small
Oh, is that
ones.
the one of the small ones? Oh, that one's like probably my favorite. That was the best.
And then the one behind, like the big one behind me, I like to play. Is that a birch tree or is that space hardware? But that's a Falcon Heavy side booster. I like close-ups of Scorch.
When you said it, I'm like, is that a trick question? Because I think it's both. Like, I don't.
Yeah,
It looks like both.
That's why I like that one. If you had non-rocket, friends walk in your house, there's only really a hint of its space hardware in that. So.
They're probably gonna think like, why do you have like a placeholder image still in the frame on the wall? Like, it's just wood. It's just wood. That's a good.
Right.
So you talked about the cookies a little bit. When did the cookies start? Tell us about the cookies.
Oh my god, I don't even know when they started. No, I know they started for sure after I began volunteering at the museum, and there was there still is. They still sell it. It's a recipe book called Cooking for the Astronauts by Dottie Kuhn, And Dottie was, she worked for NASA in the astronaut kitchen. So when the astronauts would come here for that week before mission, they'd come in on their T-38s, and the very first place they would hit was the crew kitchen, because there was always fresh chocolate chip cookies being made. So in Dottie's recipe book, there's 2 chocolate chip cookie recipes. You got to figure out which one is hers, which I did. And I thought that was a really special story because it's also one that the Air Force folks know. These cookies were pretty well known out at Cape. Astronauts literally would land, come get them, fill their pockets. And it was also the last place they went after they came back on their shuttle missions. And before they took off, they'd stop in the crew kitchens. And I'm not even kidding. I've had more than one astronaut tell me we really did shove Dottie's cookies in our flight suits and bring them back home with us. So,
Nice.
And the Air Force folks said her cookies made it out to many a mission, many a meeting, that they'd been requested more than once. And everybody knew if you didn't make it down to the crew kitchen before the astronauts landed in the T-38s, you weren't going to get a cookie either. So, yeah. So I thought that was really special. You know, food is a little bit of home, and, you know, your memories of home. And you don't get baked goods out in space. You know, fresh fruit is expensive to send up as a treat, but up until the cookies in space experiment, nobody had baked in space. And baking, they're definitely baking when they're doing it, but is like one cookie at a time, y'all. One cookie at a time. But you get the smell too, so that's cool.
That's nice.
How did it happen? I thought, how cool. There were people who already made cookies, like Miss Jean. Y'all have, I'm sure, eaten Jean's baked goods at a launch, right?
I have had some of Jean's.
I have not had the pleasure yet. I've only met her once at Atlantis, and that was it.
I got to have them with the last NRL mission. We were parked right next to each other, so I got plenty of baked goods.
She opened up her trunk, and we had magic bars, and So, you know, Jean was bringing cookies to KSC long before I ever brought cookies out there. And here's a little fact about Jean you guys probably don't even know. So when they were building the Atlantis exhibit, right, she would bring cookies out for the construction crew. So if you ever go up and, you know, the pre-show before you go in the room where the reveal is, look on the mural on the wall. So as you're facing the TV that tells the story, look to the right, and you're going to see a chocolate chip cookie on a napkin. That is a nod to Jean.
What?
That's Jean's chocolate chip cookie as a thank you for her support.
Well, I need to go back there now because I never noticed that.
Well, I'll be on the lookout because I'll be there at the end of the month.
So, if y'all think my cookies are cool, Jean has a freaking chocolate chip cookie on the Atlantis exhibit that is a nod to her.
Wow.
I'm just saying. That's pretty cool to me.
That's life goals right there.
Yeah. So I had started bringing them out long before I was media. I would bring them out when the media would roll out from the Sand Space History Center, you know, pre-COVID you probably wouldn't even know this. Pre-COVID, we actually used the Sand Space History Center as a bathroom and a check-in spot. And we just mingle in there until it's time to roll out. So you'll have that experience someday. But usually there were cookies from either Jean or one of the volunteers, Diane, would bring cookies. I started bringing cookies because Diane had surgery, and I told her I would do it in her place for a while. So it just kind of stuck.
And then now you do it for like, how many cookies do you bake a launch?
Well, as y'all notice, I don't do it every launch anymore. I just can't. A, there's more launches than there used to be, and B, I mean, hello, it's so time and money.
I bet, yeah.
Now, so if I'm baking for, like, let's say I take some down for the fleet. Well, that's kind of a chore because you got 5 ships, right? So 5 ships, you got a minimum of 4 to 6 crew on each. So bringing down a dozen for each boat doesn't really do much. That's like a snack.
Yeah.
So When I bake for the fleet, you're talking, oh, golly, like 3 batches of cookies, and I usually mix it up and make favorites for them. So,
Oh,
yeah.
It's funny.
Not
You
all
talk
about the
about.
chocolate chip. Hello.
It's
Gotta
funny
make,
you
like,
talk about
sugar-
baking cookies for the fleet. Couple weeks ago, I think it was maybe about 2 weeks ago, one of our previous guests, Josh Conti, was on, and we got to talking about, cookies for the fleet and everything like that, and we thought, wouldn't it be great for the crews on the Twins? We figured out a way on the fairings to actually bake them as they're coming through the atmosphere. I mean, freshly baked. All they got to do is go pick them out the net.
That would be really cool. I have a feeling we have a better shot of like maybe Tori helping us with this than SpaceX.
ULA has to start figuring out how to land their
ULA,
fairings now.
Maybe they'll find something that, So,
you guys want cookies? Catch your fairings.
Yeah.
Right? Well, and I used to make cookies for SpaceX too, but those are a little more complicated because getting it out to the crew is like, I guess, So I kind of stopped doing it for that, and I just started bringing them out for media when I could, instead of bringing them out to SpaceX. Now, ULA, though, what's cool about Tori is what I didn't realize, but was told a few launches ago, is Tori actually hands them out himself. Now, isn't that sweet? So if there's somebody on the fleet who says, I don't know about those cookies, because sometimes their fleet manager will be like, yeah, I don't know about those cookies. You guys really shouldn't. And I'm like, whatever, because the CEO of a rocket company has hand-delivered them and handed them out to his whole launch team, as well as the general of the Air Force. So,
wow.
If you're afraid of your crew eating my cookies, I had every opportunity to poison an entire mission team and a general, and I didn't. So I think they're
Julia
safe.
has the power.
I know. Y'all ask me what's in those cookies all the time, and I tell you there really isn't anything like out of the ordinary in there. But hey, if you want to believe that,
ruin the space launch industry in just one bad batch.
But you know what? That actually made me think about things. I'm like, wait a minute. These are some really trusting people around here to trust some random woman bringing them baked goods, right?
Yeah. All of a sudden the news, like the entire, the next Atlas launch has scrubbed due to a bat of food poisoning throughout the crew. Investigators will see what they all ate together to see what caused it. Julia's back in Wisconsin, farming.
Yeah,
I'd
be back in Wisconsin by then, because let me tell you, I like having a badge to be able to go out on the Air Force Base. I like being welcome in the communities. So we won't be doing anything like that. No. So now, when I bake, really
definitely
bake.
Not. And if that ever comes up for some reason, we all blame Seth.
What?
Yeah, you just blame Zach. Yeah, I like that.
I thought we blame Zach.
No, Seth.
No, Zach.
No, you.
No, Zach. I blame Zach. Zach's my boss. Just push it
I
up. Just push it up. Push it up. It's not my fault.
That hand feeds you.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we blame Seth. Not Zach. I know better.
Zach's not up in the chat. I'm gonna get fired before I even start.
Zach, I'm sure you're listening.
Oh, he's not even. Wow, Zach's just lurking. All right.
Yeah, he's lurking. He's there. He knows. He knows what's up.
So tomorrow,
I would never do that.
Hi, Zach. All right. So tomorrow we have 2 things happening tomorrow. We have the rollout of the SLS tower, and then we have Size Rex, right, at 6 p.m.
I know. How cool! That's something I saw launch is actually going to That was like one of the first missions I actually saw on Cape. Not as media. I was like on the causeway though, for the 45th. So like, whoa, one of those first launches I ever saw like up close is doing its thing now, and that's really cool.
Yeah, we're gonna. When does it return? It's like take a couple more months for the return, right?
Yeah.
Or years? I'm not sure.
It,
It's either months or years. I don't remember.
I mean, you could measure it in months the same way people measure babies' ages in months. Oh yeah, my baby's 36 months old. That's 3 years. Come on, just say 3
Yeah,
years.
3 years. Are they still breastfeeding? Because, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we had a legitimate question in chat.
Harry with the tough questions too. He's coming.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
What's your favorite memory within the space community?
Found a Space
Oh,
Ghost
boy.
Ambassadors with your bestest of friends.
Here, let
Oh
me
my
get that
gosh.
hint back up for you, Seth. You dropped it.
You
Just
know,
joking.
that's really hard, Harry. Because, I mean, there's like a lot of little things here and there that just make me smile. Boy, oh boy.
How about what about like what was like an interaction with like the space community where you're like, oh, this community's different. I want to be a part of this community. What about that? Was it like a
This community's different, all right.
this
yes.
community is
Well, I mean,
different.
I could tell you like some of my favorite memories. Like, okay, seriously, y'all. Like when Pauline came to visit for well, she came here for demo mission 2, but this was during demo mission 1. So she came to visit for demo mission 1, and we were in port together, and just sitting in port with her, that was definitely a moment. When demo mission, you know what, that was fun. How about this one? Demo mission 2, when the booster came back, like everybody and their mother was in town for that because they had just seen the launch. So hey, why not stay for that too, right?
Yep.
And yeah, so we were webcasting, and that was a fun day because it was me and Chris and like the webcast that never ended, and Pauline was in and out here and there too. And I mean, like, I don't know, there was just something really fun about that. I don't know, you all, like, I don't really have a one favorite moment. It's all just little memories that make me smile. Sorry, Harry. I wish I had a better answer.
That's the Harry's here with the difficult questions. That's why he's here.
That's
why we Harry, your paycheck will be in the mail.
You know what? Here's the deal. I seriously would stop doing this if I didn't have these little things like that just happen along the way that make me smile. And then you look back at pictures and you're like, wow, somebody snapped a picture of me like doing a web stream, and that was a really fun day. And that's like one of my favorite pictures. Pauline took one of those. You know, if I don't get those moments anymore, then it's time to get out of this.
Yeah.
If I don't enjoy it like that. I don't think living here, it's hard to pick one because we get exposed to it so much, those little moments. Or, I mean, especially if you're media, I mean, we see each other out there most of the time, like almost every other week at least, right? So we're spoiled. Now, I think there's some people who can say, I have this one absolute favorite, because that might have been one of maybe 2 launches they've ever seen. So those are definitely more ingrained in their memory as solid memories, right? Whereas here we're spoiled and we get lots of, you know, little moments. Like, I'll tell you, you know what? Oh, it's right on the wall behind me. And you brought it up earlier. That was a great memory. It was Steven and Matt and I, and we all thought how fun to try and do that. And I had thought to do it, but I didn't want to go tromping out in the swamp all by myself. And they mentioned it, and I'm like, oh, yay. So the 3 of us literally walked a while. It was, because you can't just drive up there to where we did that. And then we literally set up along the water line of that retention pond, and just said, you know what, forget it. And all of a sudden we were like, you know, half deep in swamp water, wondering if there were any gators in said water, and had that moment, and that was a beautiful launch through the clouds and the sky lit up orange, and yeah, we had a lot of fun.
Matt said that was also his favorite as well, and he said, "Don't forget about the old guy."
Oh my gosh! And we thought we'd be the only people out there, and we get out there, and it's like, there's this guy, and we don't know him, and what part of the community is he? Does he even like exist on social media? Like, are we not? How did somebody else have this idea? You know, yeah, the old guy. I was genuinely surprised that anybody was out there, because it's kind of backwoods out there.
Yeah, I've been up there so many times as well with like all the great moments, and I think it's between just because for DM2, I didn't really take photos of the launch. I decided to take photos of the crowd and just witness it, and that was just a whole different range of emotions to watch other people have the same emotion you've had for like over 2 years of watching it.
Mm-hmm.
Though I think one of my favorite moments was when you took me out to that it was like a boat slip, I think, out near like Christmas. We were out on like the Highway 50, thinking pictures of the Starlink. After the second Starlink mission.
Oh, we were out by the St. John's River.
And we're just sitting here. You just go like, yeah, and you go like, you shouldn't. By the way, don't come out here alone. You might go down wrong driveway and get shot. So only come out here with locals. I'm like, oh, thanks. That's really helpful.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Well, yeah, Christmas. Yeah. That still holds true. But no, we had gone out. We went out to the St. John's, the boat ramp. That's relatively safe, yes.
Yeah, until like a random truck came down the driveway. And after you told me that, I go, oh great, well here's where I die.
Here's where I die. Thanks for leading me to my death. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's still how I feel about Sideco Road and Starship today. Like, what's the day I'm going to go down here and figure out who it was that left the shotgun shells here? Yes!
What?
It is Florida after all, so, I mean,
oh my God.
I'm sure somebody was birding, or that's what I tell myself every time I pass by those, like, dozen shotgun shells. Every time I go back.
Wait, where are the shotgun shells? Are they on the road or south of the
road? No, they're not by, they're in the lightly trespass zone.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But I'll tell y'all, there's nothing to see from there anymore anyways, because there's no starships. So.
Yeah.
There's like not even worth going back where we took that picture anymore, because there's really nothing to see that way.
And it sucks. I got to see it the one last time. I can't remember when I did it. I think it was the first. You were so naive back then. The first NRL 44 attempt.
Oh yeah. That's right. You went back there and you saw the new equipment that's back.
Yeah, I drove. They were bringing trucks of the new equipment when I was leaving. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, that was the last time I got to see Starship until I go down to Texas. So.
It's all right. I didn't. The last time I saw it was over a year ago when I was in town for the Apollo 11 50th.
Oh yeah, and it was still like.
Yeah, it was up there. It was definitely up there. And then it all
got taken away.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm a little bitter about that.
I'm gonna have to take a drive to Texas. I got 2 months free coming up before
it's only like a 20-hour drive, right? From Florida
to Texas.
10 hours to you, and then 10 hours to Texas, right?
Let's be real here. Driving through Florida sucks. I feel like the state never ends, and then you're gonna have me like drive out of Florida, which is gonna take me forever. Just to drive across a couple states, say hi to Daryl along the way, and then drive to another state that it feels like you never leave? Are you kidding me? No.
I feel like there's not much difference between probably Boca Chica and like Titusville. I feel like they're so like other than the size.
They're
both probably very like they're both very very like it feels like you're in the backwoods somewhere in some spots where you go pretty, and all of a sudden then there's random rocket stuff happening.
Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely want to go there too, though. It's just the drive.
Yeah, like that and Wallops, and now after seeing John Krause's photos from Kodiak, I want to go to Kodiak so bad.
Ooh, Kodiak! Oh, I've always wanted to go to Alaska.
Yeah, I have family in Alaska. I could go visit my family and then end up going to a rocket launch. So,
talking about Wallops, though, I'm telling you, make that trip if you get the chance, especially when it's not summertime, but if it's like fall or even during the winter time.
Oh yeah.
I mean, y'all are from up north, so y'all can handle the cold. I'm sure. Still, like
Oh yeah.
y'all are fully acclimated.
Well, I don't know about that. I was up in northern Michigan the other week, and I was it was like 50, and I'm sitting there with a sweatshirt and another jacket on, just like.
Are you kidding me?
I'm fine.
Already?
Everything's fine.
What?
It was also
Already?
pretty windy, so that's why I put the blame on that.
Is your blood thin that much?
Well, it wasn't bad. It actually was comfortable.
You said
I
a
was
sweatshirt
happy.
and a coat. There's something wrong with you. Sweatshirt, I'll give you, but
It was a
and a
sweatshirt
coat?
and a really light jacket. Real light jacket. Real light jacket. It's real
stop
light.
justifying. It's a coat.
It's a jacket.
But I'm telling you,
light.
But then
Make
again,
that
down
triple
here,
wise.
everybody calls a sweatshirt a jacket. So
Yeah,
whatever.
but once we made up the big we had a massive bonfire going. I'm like, oh yep, I'm fine now. This is great.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yep.
How?
You're good.
Do you do bonfires, Daryl? Do you know what a bonfire is?
We don't really do bonfires down here because it's already obnoxiously hot. I mean, I'm sure y'all know that in Florida.
Right?
It's like that over here. It's already obnoxiously hot.
Like our version of a bonfire down here, Seth, when I had a backyard to do one in, literally was like maybe 5 pieces of wood, and I only let it burn hot and long enough to do like s'mores and hot dogs, and then I let that dang thing burn out.
Bonfires aren't as fun down here, mostly
Yeah.
because you have to buy all the wood. You can't just go find wood to go burn.
Well, yeah, there's that too.
Yeah, it's like I was
I
in my
had
grandparents'
nothing.
area in the middle of a forest, so we had endless supplies of wood.
Yeah. No, here you gotta buy it at like Ace Hardware.
Yeah, so though I have talked to some people like we gotta go. Like apparently you can do it on the beach.
I know.
I want to do it on the beach, but that's what they said is the best ways to do it. I'm like down here in South Florida, there's no places to do bonfires
Yeah.
unless you own a bonfire pit in your house.
Mhm.
So, Julia, what's we've talked about the past and everything like that. Is there anything exciting that anything in the future you got coming up, or any kind of missions you're looking forward to?
Oh boy.
Everything. You're looking forward to all of them.
Yeah, I don't know. No, actually, I mean, it's getting hard to juggle. You know, you got life with COVID. You got work because I work full time. You know, I'm me and my daughter who's a teenager, and you got all this going on, and then there's these like launches, and it's constant, right? So it's like, oh my gosh, how does all this fit? And then you have like these boosters coming back to port too. So it's not just launches for me because you know I'm not going to miss something coming back to port.
Oh no.
So on that note, now I don't have to worry so much anymore because there's a fleet cam in Port Canaveral.
Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous
Yeah.
of that. And it's so awesome because I'm in the NSF Discord, and sometimes DOS will just bring it up in like in a video chat, and we just watch it. And it's great.
Yep. So he snuck here. It was kind of like a COVID break for him because he's pretty much been quarantined this whole time. And he came down with this camera and installed it at Rusty's. And I came over with a ladder because that's kind of important and helped him out. And so once we got hooked up, it was like, oh, wow, this thing does more than we thought. And he'll be the first to admit he's been trying it at home. He tried it at home before, and that was his like the birdhouse camera he'd been showing occasionally on webcasts. And believe it or not, it's like a $350 PTZ camera.
It's really
But
not,
it's a
yeah, the
pretty
PTZ
dang
cameras
good
aren't
one.
that bad. Yeah, they're not
Not
that
yeah,
expensive.
Like,
Not like
look
they
at
used to be.
Look at this, Seth. I've got the cord in my pocket.
Nice.
I'm one of like 4 of us who can actually control it from home, so I can look around port and see what's going on and who's leaving, who's coming, who's going. So when I don't want to schlep myself down to port at 3 a.m, like I haven't done for like the last 3 because I just can't get out of bed like that anymore. Bless Steven's heart, but he lives right over there and I live half hour away. So now I can watch it on here and I can be like, hey, Das and Michael, you all still up, right? Let's do a live stream and we can watch like the sisters coming to port together. So
Steven's your errand boy? Because he's
well, yeah, sometimes I message him like, oh, hey, they're like going to come in, so you're going to go down to port and take those pictures? Because I don't want to get out.
Yeah.
He is a pizza delivery boy who also keeps, you know, late hours. So,
Oh my
and
gosh.
he's younger than me. Hello. I just
He's-
seriously cannot
yeah.
stay up all night anymore like I used to. I'm
Oh
old.
man, all matters are easy when you have enough taurine.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Well, I just can't.
Yeah,
Not
I don't
with
know
you.
why I do it to my body sometimes, but
Those NROL scrubs dang near killed me when they were like weather scrubs and we'd go back out there. Oh no. Oh, I was getting cranky.
NRL 44 was rough. You
And
there?
it still isn't over.
Yeah. That first week when I was up there, like for that whole weekend, it was like, yep, you're up until like 2-3 a.m. and then right there in the next morning, 8 a.m. reset your.
Yeah, you could nap though in the afternoon, dude.
Yeah, luckily I didn't have to do. When was it? Was it that Saturday where they did set up for the next mission?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I felt bad for I always forget the second guy. It's not Jim, but he's the other person who does check in.
Oh, John.
John, yeah. Jim and John, that's right. Duh. He got morning duty, which I saw.
Oh,
Every
that was
single time we went up there, he just looked. He did.
Oh, that's right, because Jim actually had family time scheduled, and this rocket launch should have happened by then, and so Jim had family time. Yeah.
Man, you'd come up and you'd be like, man, you just be like, how's it going? Like, ready?
Yeah,
He's like, no.
And it just, turns into a growl, like,
John's great.
my ID. Yeah, exactly. No, I don't know. I feel bad both for ULA and for SpaceX right now because I guess we can only have such a lucky streak for so long, and it's fortunate that nobody's something went boom.
Yeah. I'm surprised
So-
we've gone this long with no issues. And I mean it. Wait, what's the pad that's having the issues with the? They had to do the test on the transport erector. The other day, like last week or something like that. Was that 39A? I think. They did a
I have
test
no
in the
idea.
middle of the night. Someone caught video of it. I don't know who, but
You mean?
Oh, that would probably be either SFI or Florida Today have their webcams.
yeah, I think it was one of them. And they caught it. It was like they had to do. I think it was on 39A because they had a clear view of it from the.
Oh, then
private.
it's that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm surprised we found this long with like, I mean, I don't know how much maintenance they do in the pad, but I mean, after so many launches, they probably have gotten to the point where they probably need to do some serious maintenance on the pads.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
well, and that Delta Heavy's been on that pad for a long time. Like,
Mhm.
what was it, November of last year?
I think it was October of last year. They've already
October,
passed,
yeah.
They already
because
passed the 1 year mark.
That booster, the booster cores themselves actually got pushed out of Decatur earlier than normal and delivered to Cape because they were clearing room for the Vulcan assembly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta get all the Delta Heavy cores the heck out of there.
Yep.
And so it got delivered early. It went out to the pad, like you said. I think it was October. So right there, you've got a pad that hasn't been used since October because they've been stacking a rocket on it. So I know what happens with cars if you let them sit too long in Florida in that salty air and like humidity. So
Yeah.
I can only imagine what happens to a launch pad that's literally like feet away from the ocean.
That was
So,
also built and designed like shuttle era. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, when was it? When was the first Delta 4? Was that in the 90s, right? Late 90s?
This is the 90s.
Yeah, no, so it's probably
Yeah.
designed in the late 80s or early 90s. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is an old beast of a rocket. So,
Yeah, and they'll give that pad, once Delta's done flying, they'll give that pad back to the Air Force for who knows who will end up leasing it down the road. But
yeah. Hopefully Vulcan takes off and they can have dual Vulcan pads. That'd be nice. So,
I don't know.
yeah, they
They're
do
gonna-
pretty good with only one pad.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hello, it's like really cool. Now you have a mobile launch platform that can host 2 rocket families. Isn't that cool?
That's that when you told us about that at the ULA social, which you sadly missed. You were stuck on a bus. But
I was doing a remote setup. You hush.
you were doing some cool stuff. We got Tori Bruno. So,
I've dropped off cookies for Tori.
yeah,
Bruno.
you've done cool stuff, I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was talking
So
to us about that.
No,
I'm like, that's cool.
No, I do wish I had gotten to see him during that, but it's all cool. I'd met him before. It's all good.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean the fact that this one tower can do 2 different rocket families is pretty awesome. So.
Yep.
But now we just got to get Blue Origin to deliver their engine.
or do anything.
Oh.
Anything, please. Just show us something. Please show us. I mean,
I've become
they
so
did launch.
jaded. Daryl, when I first moved here, I was like so enchanted by these illustrations of what Kennedy Space Center was doing, and I distinctly remember there being an illustration of a rocket on 39A and a rocket on 39B, and one of them being SLS and one of them being SpaceX, right? And how cool was that going to be? And I haven't seen that illustration for a while, but that was this whole like, oh wow, look at all these things coming to Cape, and now it's like, well, Blue Origin's building, and oh, this big factory's there, and they still haven't. Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
they launched their
engine that they still haven't gotten to ULA, so now it's like hurting another company, and I've started to get a little bit jaded as I realize reality on the Space Coast is a little bit different than the pretty illustrations you see when you first get.
Those photos are like, the photo of the 3 rockets from what was NRL, GPS3, and Starlink.
That would be so cool.
It's like when you take that photo out of the context of what happened that week, you're like, oh my gosh, they're doing so much, and you put it in the context, you're like,
in the context of they never should have backed up that much.
That rocket stuck. That rocket stuck. That rocket launched a week later. Like,
yeah, this is what a traffic jam looks like, and we don't want it to look like that. No. But it could be the year down the road view of this one, and this one go within 36 hours. You know, maybe. I know I can tell you, like, the folks at the 45th Space Wing have been just dying to show off their skills, because if you launch like, I really wish it had happened that way, where we had 2 launches within 24 hours. And this is going to even be more possible once Vulcan happens, because Vulcan will have that
automated flight termination.
What is that called? The automated abort system. Mm-hmm. So they didn't retrofit it on Atlas or Delta, because that would have meant new certifications, and you really go through that, right? But they are gonna. It's going to be a part of Vulcan. So right there, you've got SpaceX and the Falcon 9, and then the Vulcan that can basically launch easily within 24 hours of each other. And my understanding is new. Oh my God, Blue Origin's going to also integrate that into the new or the New Glenn. Wow, been waiting so long for the rocket, I forgot what it was called.
Same.
I forgot what it looks like to be honest. I'm trying to think in my head. I'm like, what does it look like again? Oh, is it like a pencil?
Oh, it looks like a giant. You know what?
No, that's New Shepard.
Oh wait, there's another fun memory. Baking cookies at the Blue Origin, like before they even really got going with their factory. Breaking in their kitchen, baking cookies. That was fun. Nice. And just being able to walk in the lobby and be like, oh, that thing's flown space a few times. Well, so, lower. Well, all the same, it's got the scars of coming back into our atmosphere.
It flew.
And I will give Bezos a lot of credit. He is a history buff who loves the early history as well. So just seeing random artifacts in that building is pretty cool too. So
doesn't he own one of the hangars out there, or used to own?
We're dabbling in a little bit of
so Blue Origin's facility is pretty cool, eh?
Yeah, so Hangar S is really cool and really historic, and it is located next to it's nestled in between 2 NASA hangars, actually. One of them still don't ask me the hangar names, because I really can't come up with them.
I don't remember any of the names either. They're so hard to remember. If you're facing Hangar S,
to the left is the hangar that used to do the shuttle booster processing, which is right off the dock that the boosters would come back on the boats with.
Yep.
So that building's still leased by NASA, and then you got Hangar S, and then just to the side of that, to the right, is NASA LSP's control center. It's like AE, I think, is that building. Yep. So AE is to the right of that. Hangar S is like an amazingly historical hangar. So if you saw, oh wait, they haven't actually shown it yet. they mention it in the right stuff, and they mention why they go to the hotel because they don't want to stay in the hangar with the monkeys, who were also staying in hangar. But yeah, so that is where the astronaut crew quarters were that they had to stay before launch. So the monkeys lived there, and the capsules were processed there, the Mercury capsules. And then that building after the early part of the program, you see pictures too of like Kennedy speaking in front of that building, and it's still stamped with Langley because it was that early in the space program that Langley was actually the original lessee of that hangar. And so that's like a fun little fact. But then they used it for part of the shuttle program, so they did some satellite processing out there. And the hangar got like this white room right in the middle of it for satellite processing. And so it didn't quite look the same anymore, but whatever.
Did astronauts go to the same hotel out there? I'm deeping back into history. No, okay.
Well,
I'm trying to think like if that hotel
stay on base nowadays when they come in for their training.
Yeah, before crew quarters. Yeah.
Because they're in quarantine anyways, but
yeah.
But during Mercury, they were like, yeah, we're not gonna. I mean, they were all military test pilots, all the same, but they weren't gonna stay in a hangar with stinky loud monkeys. So they stayed in Cocoa Beach, and that hotel actually is still here.
You know what hotel it is?
Gavin Price knows exactly which hotel it is. It was a Holiday Inn. I'm not sure if it's exactly a Holiday Inn now, but
Holiday Inn
stayed
was
there.
Long? They had Holiday Inn that long ago?
I mean, like, I'm gonna give you the warning. He said there were bed bugs there though, so it's probably a good place to go visit.
I've stayed in so many sketchy hotels.
Yeah, I mean it's
so many sketchy places.
Hotels, so yeah.
Yeah, I've stayed in the Econo Lodge. It's on, I think it's near the port. Terrible decision. It was a terrible decision.
Oh yeah. No,
I'm literally gonna be there for a few hours. Why am I gonna spend all this money on a nice hotel? And then I get there, I'm like, I should have spent more money on a nice hotel.
I should have spent more money. Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's not worth the $50 a night.
As you're going through Cocoa Beach, like as you just get into Cocoa Beach, there's one called the Sea Air Hotel.
Yep.
And that one was another one astronauts and their families had stayed at as well. And that one's quality. So if you ever get to stay at the Sea Air Motel, do it.
There was a place on Airbnb that had like a Apollo themed room. It's like yeah, and I've heard people say it's a terrible place, but like the room's nice.
Well, you know what? Irma kind of destroyed it, and they redid some stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. They've got a nice bit of beach and all that. So who knows? I'm sure all the bedding's new now. So.
God, it'd be terrible.
Yeah. So
60s bedroom, still all the same mattresses and same bedding.
Yeah,
I don't want to know what the astronauts did in those beds. I've read the bios.
Stop. So about Hangar S.
Yeah, the beach house.
I got to visit that once before its history changed. Thanks to the folks at Detachment 1, I got a little history tour, and I got to stand in the hallway that John Glenn walked down. And oh yeah, by the way, y'all, that was like a moment. Because our astronauts had walked down this hallway, and I was geeking out, and I couldn't talk. So all of a sudden, I thought it was on the to be demolished list, which made me really sad because we can't keep all of the history out there because it crumbles, right? And it costs money to refurbish it, and we can't take people out there at will. And we really can't take people out for tours somewhere like Hangar S. And you want to know why, y'all? Because there's things that are operational out there, and you can't tell companies to keep their toys inside their buildings all the time.
Yeah.
So that industrial area, you just really can't take tour buses and let people out of them. So as much as everybody thought, well, restore it, put it on the tour, you got to save the history. You can't tear that down. Well, that's not really our reality out there when you can't really show the history to people anyways. What's the point of restoring it if you can't show it to anybody? So it was on the to be demolished list. I went to a Cape Family Day, and Shark One was there. It was General. Mm, oh shoot! What? Shark One, who was the 45th Space Wing just before our current general.
Oh, I have no idea. You say Shark One, and I think of GTA 5 roleplay. That's what they
Oh,
call
okay.
the boat for the police and the.
He's actually part of our, he's actually with the FAA right now. He left when he retired from the military.
He follows me. I think is he like the person in charge of like commercial space for the FAA?
Yes.
Yeah, he follows
And
me. I don't know
really
why he
bad
does,
that
but he follows me.
That was his name. Okay, well, he was
Don't ask me why he follows me. I don't know why he does. I just found it one day. I'm like, why does he follow
That's
me?
really actually crazy cool, to tell you the truth. And so at Family Day, I said something about, I just want to say thank you because the folks at Detachment 1 were so wonderful, and they took me in there before, because I had heard it was on the demolished list, and, it makes me sad, but I get it. And he goes, oh, I have good news. Guess what? It's not being demolished anymore. And I went, what? He goes, well, Blue Origin, Jeff Bezos, he's going to be using that. And I went, what? Yeah, so guess what? Hangar S just got a new roof.
Nice.
Hangar S is being gutted right now, so it's being basically torn down to more or less what it used to look like during the Mercury era. What he's going to do with it, I don't know. I mean, he is enough of a history buff that, for all I know, he literally leased it from the Air Force so it wouldn't get torn down. Or we could get a surprise, and they could be doing some work in there on the New Glenn program too. So I look forward to seeing what he actually does with it. But as much as sometimes we pick on Blue Origin, I do know people who work out there, and they are really proud of what they do. And it just, when it's time, it'll happen when it's time, right, y'all?
Yeah,
and
it'll happen when it's ready. And it will
I
launch
forever
when
will
it's
be
ready to
grateful
launch.
for Jeff Bezos, though, and his love of early space history, because he is one of those folks who preserves artifacts, including giant buildings. So thank you, Jeff. Yeah.
Well, yeah, just he got Liberty Bell 7, right? Did he actually?
Yeah. I think he outfunded its recovery. Yeah.
Yeah, he pretty much he funded it. Yeah, I don't think he actually was he in the documentary at all. I don't know if he was in the documentary, but oh no, yeah, he was. Of course, he was very prominent in the documentary.
Yeah, and he funded a restoration once it was recovered. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to find this person, but it might take me a while. I might follow his list. But
okay.
Yeah, where did that go? Did that go to the Smithsonian or?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would love to. I need to go back to the Smithsonian. Last time I went there, I was like, not in the history.
I never have been, so that's like one of those. I want to go to the National Air and Space Museum too. So.
You know, if you ever make the trip to Wallops, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
it's not that far away. Yeah.
You just divert right over.
Wallops. To go to I heard the ferry docks are the most amazing place to see one. So as much as I maybe want to be a part of a social, I actually probably just want to go to the ferry docks.
Yeah.
And watch launch. Yeah.
It's ridiculous how close you can get to it too, because here the minimum distance you're gonna get, whether you're press or just one of the good viewing sites through the visitor center, is 3 miles and some change at minimum.
Yeah.
Here the ferry is a good bit less than that. It's also a good bit less of a rocket, but still, for photographers, that distance matters. Yeah,
that does.
There's less atmosphere on the way.
I heard a rumor that one of these last visits Elon made to town, and Elon didn't make the visit for happy reasons, right? He was here because we really kind of screwed up with GPS 3. Got to check on our folks down here, because I think we kind of took for granted things were just rolling here and he could focus all of his attention and nothing was going bad. So it's time for a wake-up call, and even for him, like, hi, yeah, we're doing this thing here and we need to, But I guess part of his stay down here in Titusville is, rumor is he went to Playa Linda Beach and made a comment of, you can get this close during a launch?
Yeah.
Really? Interesting. And interestingly enough, whether it was Range who requested it or Elon who requested it, I heard that they couldn't go all the way up to the fence this time for the last Starlink launch, that they were backed up a little bit from it.
Now, was he backed up with them, or
No, he wasn't. He was gone already. He flew away.
Okay.
Yeah, no. So no, he wasn't here for the launch. As far as I know, he had already flown back to Boca Chica. But it was ironic that, they couldn't walk all the way up to the fence for this last launch when they went walking down the beach, is what I was told. Could that be Elon? Maybe. Could it be range? Possibly. Also, it all depends on wind direction when you're viewing from Playa Linda. If
Right.
Playa Linda's even going to be allowed, right? Because there are some, like, if there's hypergulls involved with your vehicle
Or solids.
then there's a good chance Playa Linda is already out as an option, because the range is going to say, no, we are not going to try and have a situation where people might have to evacuate. So
Right. I got to get to that beach one day for a launch.
Yeah, I need to see it from a launch from there too.
I just need to get back for more launches, period. I need to
well, I'm not going to lie, just like your ferry, the ferry dock at Wallops, for Starlink launches from 39A,
Mhm.
Playa Linda is honestly a better location to view than the media site.
Mm-hmm.
And
You get a better angle on it with it going northeast, so it's like you just totally get a better. I don't know.
No, that's.
I don't know.
That's like I say all the time about the observation gantry. When people could still go out to it. That
Right.
That was better than press. Some of my best work, both of these on the wall behind me, both of those are from there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, obviously it's closer. I can see the gantry in some of my shots from 39A's.
Yeah.
I'm actually pointing it out on the webcast because somebody was asking, are those houses in the foreground? Well, no, they're not. They're support buildings for 39A and B. And then I looked and I'm like, and that's the gantry. And wow, that's all considerably closer to the pads than we are right now.
Yeah. And while you're waiting, it does give you a really cool look of 39A. It's like, holy crap, I'm that close to it. Wow.
Right?
Daryl wants to sign the waiver to go there for our 39A launch. So
I was gonna say, do you have to sign a waiver when you go to a viewing gantry for 39A? Like,
you probably sign many waivers when you ever buy those tickets. You probably not told.
No. Look, if you're going there for anything but a 39 launch, there's no extra waivers. You buy the ticket, and I guess the waivers implied, yada yada yada, whatever.
Yeah, you probably agree not to sue them if you get injured.
But I want to sign a waiver to be at the gantry for a 39 launch.
Right? Oh yeah.
And then you get blown
Absolve the
away and
responsibility.
die and never take a photo ever again.
I want to. You know what? I want to set up cameras there one day.
Oh, maybe that should be a new one for NSF right there. We should have a gantry cam.
What about me?
No, not you. Well, yeah, you can be the
You
gantry
want to set
cam.
up there
Whoa.
too.
You can be the
Well, I
gantry
just said
cam.
it out loud, so go do it. Go make it happen. Go.
Okay.
Go.
Yeah, come on. You're a smart person, ish.
Wow.
Hey,
That.
I'll take that compliment.
I mean, I kind of put out that challenge the other night too of like, I want to see a streak shot over like Space Mountain, and then somebody's Kevin Quick goes, well, now I feel bad because I really kind of want to do that now, but that was your idea, and I'm like, y'all go forward.
The Space Mountain. I don't know if you can view east for Space Mountain.
I bet you can go to
There
one
are-
of the resorts though and get a shot of.
There is
I
a
bet.
back road. I've driven past a few times. There is there's a back road that you go right past Space Mountain. Like it's kind of
Like
like
a back road, kind of near that one, the Contemporary Resort, right?
No. This is like you're literally like maybe 20 feet from Space Mountain, but you're
A
not
public
on
back road?
a public back road. Yeah.
Oh.
It kind of ruins the magic of Disney, to be honest, because you see all the back stuff of
No,
Disney.
I like stuff like that, but yeah.
No, it's really interesting.
Go on
Yeah.
Google Maps.
But, like,
Walt
it-
would be disappointed.
Yeah, but like it goes past like the service area for all the
Wait,
monorails.
are you the one who said you hadn't been on Space Mountain yet?
No, I think it was Matt.
Oh, it was Matt. That's right.
I think it was Matt who hasn't been on Mission Space or Space Mountain.
Wait,
And
what's
he's
Oh,
in-
Mission Space
he is
is
the
kinda
chat.
cool, but it's a lot like the shuttle experience at the Atlantis.
No, Mission
Yeah.
Space is not like the shuttle experience. It's
long
way
has it-
cooler.
how long
You
has
might
it
have gone
been
on. Did you go on the green or the orange one?
Oh, I went on the orange one.
Yeah, the orange one actually spins.
Well, I'm
You
just
actually
saying
get
the whole
gravity.
shaking and
Yeah, it's not. It's
push a button.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
push buttons and it does. Yeah. Yeah, I've actually been on it to where like I'm the only. It was my friend and I.
Secret? It's still gonna do the things if you don't push a button.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was gonna say. I was with a friend, and we were the only 2 people in there, and like I forgot to hit buttons, and it still does it. It just like it does it a little bit later. It's like, sorry, Daryl, for ruining it if you haven't experienced it. So
You know,
Well, you didn't tell them what the buttons do, so
Yeah.
you're good.
they do nothing.
there's a big abort button, and then it ejects you from the pod, and it's great.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, actually, yes, Mission Space is actually a lot of fun, even if you're just doing selfies outside with Mars, so whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that one you could face east and get a streak over. I think that one you can.
You know, I never thought of that. You could do it with the Mission Space, like the with the.
I wanted
Mars.
to get a Mars
Yeah.
mission to over Mission Space or a
Oh my gosh! First of all, dude, you gotta like actually have a night mission when you're able to get into Disney. So
Yeah.
good luck.
you have to like it's
And that
it's,
park's got to be open, and yeah.
and you have to not get caught with having tripods and professional camera equipment by security and
In other words,
There's-
you really just got to have some really, really, really good timing and know somebody who can get you a special pass to do special things and be your escort. So yeah,
you have to.
There's a lot
some
of-
people.
there's
I
a
think-
lot of factors in trying to get these shots. So
So
that's why I said more power to whoever wants to go out and even try any of these because that's a lot of work.
I really wanted to get well back when NRL 44 was supposed to launch, to get it over the ship that was in port.
Oh yeah,
'Cause I thought,
remember
like-
you trying to figure that out. Yeah.
I was emailing Jim like, hey, do you know anyone at the port who can get me like past the fence? And he's like, no. I'm like, dang it. Like,
Yeah,
I
not,
mean,
not for ship.
yeah,
No.
I figured. I mean, like maybe, but worst he can say is
No, that's one of those cases where it would have been useful if, like, Grandpa was a retired, naval aviator or
yeah. But
something,
I'm
something
just
where
thinking-
someone could pull a
it
favor.
was like
'cause
so cool. It would be like brand new ship, brand new spy satellite that's going to be using the data from that with the ship and like the story.
yeah, wrong, yeah.
Yeah, and then it left port before the launch attempt.
The moment I saw where it was docked, I'm like, oh, no one's ever going to get a decent shot of that thing because it's always going to be fenced, and no
Yep.
public was invited to the thing. So.
I helped
Yeah.
Seth get around that legally.
Oh yeah.
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 Oh,
I
what
told him
was
just
it? I forgot about it. What was it? Tell me, please.
I told you, just put your lens right up against the chain.
Oh
link
yeah,
so that
with
it
the
zooms
10
in.
millimeter, what you needed with the wide, it was terrible.
Oh.
It was.
You'd see the chain link in it.
Yep.
So the shots I got were all, and I like them anyways because I really do like head-on shots of warships anyways. So I was
Mhm.
happy I stood on the deck over at Gators, so I could shoot over the fence.
Yeah, that's what I was too.
But
I
I
got
mean,
some good
obviously
photos.
that did not work for a starboard side shot.
I did get starboard is left, right?
Well, it doesn't matter.
No.
You wouldn't have got either shot unless you were in a boat. I mean,
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
hello.
No. I got a side angle shot, but you can see a little bit of the fence on the edges of it. But it actually
See,
came.
I really wish I'd have just gone out in a boat and pulled a favor or something because had you been on the water, I bet you could have got some really nice shots of it. But you know what?
Let
Whatever.
me share my screen with y'all. And then, I haven't done the screen thing in a while.
Oh, that looks
Hey.
good on the stream.
oh, see, I like yours because it's got all the birds in the
Yeah.
foreground. That's
Well,
cool.
when I did this, I added Steven. I go like, is this enough birds for you?
Oh my god.
Because you always gotta choose a shot with the birds.
Well,
this
see,
is-
now what
Yeah,
is that
but-
in your foreground by your signature? What is that? Is that the?
This is like a pylon of some sort, like some cement
okay.
thing. Yeah.
Looks like one of those concrete barriers.
Yeah, it's like a concrete barrier is what it was. This was as far as I could get. That actually looked good. With,
This was before it was all decked out. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And then this was the head-on one that I got with the dude at attention. I think they were doing something. I didn't even notice it. And the guy was at attention at the front and all that
I
stuff.
think they were raising the flag to half staff.
Yeah. I think
When
that's
you were
what
doing
they were
that.
doing.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. I didn't hear anything or notice anything. But yeah.
Yeah.
So does that make up for always missing rocket ship?
I got to see Rocket Ship.
He finally got to see it.
Yeah, I got to see Rocket Ship. And it was that. I think it was that night as well.
And then you picked on me because I didn't go down to watch it come in. And I'm like,
Yeah, I was so
"Oh,
excited. I'm like,
yeah."
oh, I get to hang out with Julia and John and Steven. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And then no
It's
one showed up. It was
fun.
just me and Jared. It was fun. I loved it. I got some good.
I'm not
photos.
saying Rocket Ship isn't worth it, but
It was
it's
my
the
first
same-
time. It was
it's the
my
same
first
viewer.
time. I wanted my
Oh
friends
my
to be
God,
there for my
thank you.
first time.
It's in Rocket Ship.
I'm joking. I'm messing with you.
I'm excited.
No,
I
Seth,
like
wouldn't
it.
it be cool though if maybe Rocket Ship were to become a part of the Vulcan program? Because I have my own theories. I think it's going to be part of Vulcan because they have to retrieve, they're going to
engines?
catch the engines.
Mhm.
Now, they're going to catch them with a helicopter. Where's the helicopter going to land?
On
The
rocket ship, maybe.
Maybe?
Mhm.
Does,
I don't know.
Does the top open though? They would have to do some modifications.
I couldn't get Tori to tell me, so I like to hope that means maybe I was close because he wouldn't confirm nor deny.
Yeah, usually when he doesn't confirm, you're usually pretty close.
Where can
I don't know. When they named it Rocket Ship, and then I remember they had a helideck, I mentioned it. And I'm
Oh,
like,
they do have a
you-
holodeck on
you-
there.
Yeah, a giant one. I mean, that's a huge deck on top.
Yeah.
Ah.
Oh, I think that. Yeah,
You were
I think
pretty
that-
spot on as well with I think was it Blue Origin's idea?
Well, I think I know what. Yeah, well, I was told.
Me.
I
You
was
weren't
told
conf-
I was looked at like, whoa, when I was talking about it just to one of the head of the recovery program. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I really, really, really want that ship to be done, and it's really not even close to being done. But because if I could design my own double decker, like a ro-ro boat,
That's such a huge ship. Do you know where they're gonna put that ship here in port?
yeah. Hello.
Is it?
There's those docks at the north.
Oh.
The tugs, they're either though. The tugs are moving eventually. So, but
Wait,
it's not
the
gonna
tugs
be here.
the one that's near the Coast Guard station?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah, the port tugs are actually gonna move across port.
is that
from where
big
they
enough
are.
for that ship?
You know where the sisters dock right now on
Yeah.
the north? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's big enough for that.
Oh
That-
yeah, you could put two of
yeah.
them side by. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess so.
No. Well, and SpaceX can still rent out part of that North Cargo Pier along the big long run too. But
Yeah.
no, so yeah, those ro-ro ships are ginormous. If you've ever seen one in Port Canaveral, the ones that are kind of down by where the Victory Casino boat docks, the ro-ros that deliver here are about same size, and so you got an enclosed deck right
Yep.
below, and then you got your open deck at the top. And all I can think is, man, you put a blast wall on that wheelhouse and crew area at the bow, that
Yep.
whole area. Put a straight up blast wall there, because I think humans are going to be on this thing when we land. And then, like, seriously, you've got your landing area, and maybe possibly thinking like an aircraft carrier, you got your, like, an elevator.
Yeah.
An aircraft elevator, right? So you
Yep.
land this puppy, and then you got a crane at that blast wall, right? You can have like a mobile crane that swings out. Ooh. And then your rocket lands, and you put it horizontal onto a transporter, right? Because you have this elevator, and then you literally lower it down to the lower deck, which is your ro-ro deck, and you dock, and it just rolls off. And then you don't even have to protect it from the elements because it's on your lower deck already.
Yeah, you don't
That
have to
was
worry
my
about
friend-
it
Yeah, if I could have
shuffling
my own
around
road.
and
And I got looked at like,
she knows what she's talking about.
am I close? And he's like, I'm not saying anything. I'm like, oh, all right. So now I really want to know, and I'm dying.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know the row part, I learned this from Julia. Roll on, roll off. So the back kind of flips down, and they just whoop, roll it right off, roll it right on.
Yeah. So there's like a job, like literally, you can be somebody who works the roll on, roll off dock, and you literally go on a transport van into the ship, and you take some keys and you roll a car off of it, and then you get back in the transport van and you all go on together, and then you all roll cars off again. It's to watch,
You get to do it.
but much more entertaining to watch than lumber. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Any questions? Anything you want to talk about, Daryl? You're at the hour and a half point.
Oh,
Oh God, I have to work at 7.
Hey, whoa.
Yes, we should probably
Guys.
don't want to keep Julia too long because she's a busy lady. So
Yes.
Hey, we might have a ship come back tomorrow. Who knows?
who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Hey, did you guys see that about the fairing catchers? Like, did you guys see that crazy catch that they accidentally broadcast?
Oh, with the broken with the it broke.
Well, no. Well, yeah, that broke.
I fell back asleep once the broadcast went into like the coast phase, and I woke back up. It was already over on YouTube. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I saw everybody talking about it on Twitter. I'm like, well, that's interesting.
Yeah, I was driving to work and I get this frantic message of, "Did you see what happened on this tree?" And I'm like, and then my heart sunk. I'm like, oh my God, what happened? Thinking, I kind of know some folks out there, and I'm like, what happened? Oh, well, the fairing half crashed. It crashed through and hit the arm, and I'm like,
Oh.
and I've got this image in my head of like a deck that is smashed. Is what? Oh, the arm. Oh, okay. So when I actually saw the video, I'm like, dude, you just overblew like what just happened. In my mind, it was like twice as bad as what I saw. So yay! It's a good thing those arms are sturdy now. Yeah. So that was a funky catch on Ms. Tree, and then later in the webcast, they did say that Ms. Chief had a catch as well. So we know that they counted that funky "oops, it fell through the net" thing as a catch, but it was in the net, right? I think hitting the corner of the net, by the way, is just bad juju, because I know Trevor said there was a hole in it the last mission, and there was, but they were mending. So I really think that the thing came in just a little bit too hard at the corner, and it did get broke. But yeah, so get this. So you hear Miss Chief gets a catch too. Woohoo! They both, like, second time they've done a dual fairing catch, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dog. Dang, she thinks I'm talking to her. So second time they do a dual fairing catch. Woohoo! They get over to Port of Morehead City, and we saw some pictures because there's lovely folks in Morehead City who are just like us, Daryl. They stock ships, right?
Yep.
And guess what?
No.
The net on Miss Chief was still up, and the fairing half was upside down. So now, y'all imagine this with me. Miss Chief had a catch, and this was definitely on the deck when it got to Morehead City, but there was definitely a net still up. And if you make a catch, your net has to come down to put the fairing half on the cradle,
right?
And it would be like sitting, right side up, shall we say?
Yeah.
Well, that's not what it looked like when it came back. And I'm like, eh. So apparently some fun stuff happened on Miss Chief too. If they caught it, it must have been a catch somewhat more like boat going this way, right? And fairing coming down this way. And then I missed the net and I went under the net because there's damage to the IntelliSat unit. So it crashed like part of the wheelhouse and took out an IntelliSat and just had to have landed on the deck upside down.
Oh, that had to have been
it's like the
so imagine seriously, like here's your ship and here's a fairing coming in and go whoop and crash onto your deck.
It's like the pilot, the Air Force and Navy pilot, Navy aviator, saying where sorry, I know one. He'll probably get pissed off at me if I say that. That a good landing is one you can walk away from. It's like a good fairing catch is one that stays on the boat.
Exactly, because you know what? The crazy thing is, both of these fairing halves from pictures that were shared from Morehead City, they're still intact. Those those
we don't do that here anymore.
3 times landed twice, all awkward and discombobbled on these ships, and they're still intact. It's the craziest dang thing ever. So that's my story about the sisters and what apparently we think happened when these fairing halves were caught. So I you know what? As far as SpaceX is concerned, they're calling them. They're both catches. So, and I bet you see these fairings
stayed
again
on the boat. It stayed on the boat.
It's like Barry Bonds in the history books with an asterisk.
Well, that's how it's going to be in my journal. Like, well, sort of catch. I mean, it caught and then crashed through, and apparently it didn't actually catch, but the deck caught it.
Yeah,
Woo!
the ship caught the parade.
Yeah, I could just hear people now. The net. It wasn't caught in the net. Well,
No,
it was caught.
It
didn't touch water.
It made it to the deck of the boat. It made it to the deck of the boat somehow.
Yep. All right.
So go sisters, because they did some crazy stuff, and I bet you those crews probably peed their pants. Because I would have.
So, any questions there you want to ask, or anything you want to talk about, Julia?
I'm good. I'm happy to have Julia back again.
I'm happy to come talk.
Always a pleasure.
All right. Thank you so much, Julia, for joining us again for the week, and of course, short notice because I was lazy. I'm like sitting there they're like, oh,
I love you too. Mwah.
I'm like, oh, I need a guest. We should have Julia on again because we haven't had her since we've changed the format. Yes, we should do that.
Well, next time y'all have me on, maybe we'll do something like I'll bake cookies while we talk or something.
Yes, we should all bake cookies. We'll all bake cookies while you talk.
That'll be a special episode.
I have.
Could we have a Christmas episode and make Christmas cookies?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Christmas episode.
All right, we'll talk about it after the show. Thank everyone for
All
coming. Thank everyone for showing up and joining us. We had a whole bunch of people coming out, of course, to see Julia and some new faces. Hope you guys hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, follow us on Twitter, follow us on all the socials, and we'll see you guys all next week.
Bye.